bakers. So when it comes to mug cakes, we have done a lot. We have done muffins, cookies, even cheesecakes. And just when I think we've done it all, I get more big and bold ideas. So today we are going to do fall pies in a mug. So let's get microwaving. Fall is my absolute favorite time of year because of the holidays and because of all the great ingredients that I have to bake with. Today's recipes are 3 traditional American pies that you usually can't buy outside of the United States, but now you can make them at home in the microwave. The first pie that we'll be making is a classic pumpkin pie. Now I know what you're thinking, I'm not eating a dessert that's main ingredient is a vegetable. But listen, we eat weird stuff too in Europe that they wouldn't eat here in the United States, so trust me, this is a really good pie. We're going to start out by mixing all of our ingredients in a bowl rather than a mug, just so I have more room to mix it up. The first and main ingredient of our pie is pumpkin puree. Now you can buy tinned or you can make your own. To this I'm going to add in an egg, milk, brown sugar, salt, vanilla extract, and pumpkin pie spice, and then whisk them all really well together. If you don't have pumpkin pie spice, you can always use cinnamon. However, you can make your own pumpkin pie spice, and I'm going to put a recipe for that along with everything else you see here today on biggerbolderbaking.com. Okay, lovely. This is nice and smooth. I'm going to set this guy aside and then start preparing our mug for our pumpkin pie. In a microwavable mug that we're going to cook our pumpkin pie in, I'm going to put in some scoops of crushed cookies. Now this is to form a lovely base. I'm using graham crackers, but you can use digestive biscuits or even gingersnap biscuits. Those would be really good with the pumpkin and all the spices. Now just take your bowl of pumpkin pie mix and pour it over your cookies. You can fill it almost to the top. Okie dokie, this little guy is ready for the microwave. So to cook the pies, the timing that I'll give you is based on my microwave, which is 1200 watts. So check the wattage of your microwave because your cooking time may vary. Now to cook the pumpkin pie, it's a little bit sensitive because it's a pumpkin custard when you think about it. So we're going to cook it for 30 seconds, check on it, cook it for another 30 seconds, check on it, and keep on going until you can see it's almost done. And there you have it, a freshly baked pumpkin pie. It looks perfect. As you can see, it cooked around the outside. You want that little bit of a wobble in the middle, if you can see that, just like our cheesecakes, because when this goes cold, it will set and that will firm up and it will be the perfect texture underneath. To serve my pie in a mug, I like to pipe a generous amount of cream on top. And to finish, sprinkle a few more cookie crumbs on top, just so you know they're underneath there. With this pie, even though it's pumpkin, all the spices and the vanilla and everything in it make it taste very sweet. It's really a delicious pie, so I strongly suggest you try it. Our next pie is nice and fruity, so let's go on to that one. Our next delicious pie in a mug is a lovely homemade apple crisp or crumble. No matter what you call it, it's going to taste good. The first thing you want to do is peel and cut very small chunks of your apple. Now I'm using a Honeycrisp apple, which is a good apple for cooking in the United States, but use whatever is good in your country or wherever you are. One thing I love about these little mug cakes is that rather than making a big pie, you can make your own little personal cobbler with just one apple, a few ingredients. You don't have to wait 40 minutes. It's one of the best parts of these things. Now you want to make sure to cut it up nice and small because it'll cook a lot better and a lot faster that way. Here I have my lovely little microwavable mug. To this I'm going to add in my apples, a little bit of flour and a little bit of sugar, and what these will do will actually thicken the juices that come out of the apple when they cook. Okay, lovely. We're going to set our apples aside and assemble our crisp topping. In a separate bowl we're going to mix together our flour, brown sugar, cinnamon, salt, oats and toasted pecans. To our dry ingredients we're going to bind it together with some melted butter and then mix all of these ingredients together. Also, this recipe is very forgiving, and what I mean by that is that you can substitute in and out ingredients. If you don't like pecans, you can put in almonds. If you don't have brown sugar, you can use white. If you want to use whole wheat flour, it's up to you. Okay, lovely. This is what your crisp topping will look like. So we're going to add this generously on top of our apples. And that's our crisp. It looks delicious. This little guy now is ready for the microwave. This little dessert will take a little bit longer to cook than a traditional mug cake because we want to get the apples nice and soft and all warm in there underneath the crisp. Our apple crisp is done and it smells amazing in here. You can see our apples are cooked underneath, they're kind of translucent. Our topping is nice and firm. So this guy is best eaten warm, so we're going to top him off with some lovely things on top. The only way to serve an apple crisp, I think, is with vanilla ice cream. I like to put a little bit of cinnamon spice on top. This is so good. The apples, the pecans, everything in here. A little bit of salt. I love a good bit of salt in my baking. This is absolutely divine. Okay, I'm not going to finish all this pie, I promise, because we've got a great one coming up. This next pie is my absolute favorite. It's got great texture, lovely flavor, and it screams fall. It's pecan pie in a mug. Just like with the pumpkin pie, we're going to mix all of these ingredients in a bowl. Add in your melted butter, brown sugar, maple syrup, vanilla extract, egg, pinch of salt, and your chopped toasted pecans. And then mix them all really well together. If you can't get maple syrup in your country, don't worry about it. You can always substitute it for honey or even golden syrup, and those will work really well. And there you have it, our lovely maple custard for our pecan pie. We're going to set this guy aside and prepare our cookie crust. So just like with the pumpkin pie, we're going to add in crushed cookies to the bottom of our mug for our crust. If you want to make this dessert gluten-free, then just leave out the cookies or use gluten-free cookies. Now just fill up your mug with your pecan filling all the way to the top. And there it is, your no-fuss pecan pie made in minutes, and we're going to cook it in the microwave. These recipes are perfect for the holidays, and to give everybody their own little mug, just multiply out the recipe and make as many as you want. Our pecan pie is out of the microwave and it's cooked perfectly. You can always tell because there'll be a little bit of a jiggle, just like the way there was with the pumpkin pie. But when we set it aside, let it cool down, it will set and firm up. Traditional pecan pies are always decorated with toasted pecans on top. And as always, I love to add some freshly whipped cream. So I want to show you the texture of this pecan pie because it's one of the reasons I love it so much. It's like a lovely maple custardy kind of jelly texture. It's just so good, and eaten warm is perfection. When I think of the fall season, I think homemade, and that's exactly what these little pies in a mug are. There is something for everybody. If you like these pies in a mug, then please share this video with a friend. Thank you so much for subscribing to my channel. I'll see you back here every Thursday for more bigger, bolder baking.